coffee.
Can you find coffee? I will hook him up, but please just maybe start.
Yeah.
And then
Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Áki, and the plan now is to talk about this organ project that is under Intelligent Instruments Lab, the kind of umbrella, and also collaboration with the church, Hallgrímskirkja, and then we have events now as a part of the winter festival. So yes, this is a very informal presentation because I just wanted to show you a few photos, and then the idea was also that you could ask questions and talk about these things, and also we have among us here a few composers that are working with the project. So we have Julie there in the back, and Victor, Einar Hugin, and Ólaf, and Guðmundur Vignis, and myself. I also made a piece for this project. I don't know, are there some more people? No, maybe not. So maybe these composers can, if they want, say a little bit about their own kind of approach to the instrument. But you don't have to. This is just an open discussion. So maybe I'll just first go very quickly over what I have here, and then the word is free. What do you say about that? Is that okay? Is there a time frame for these open labs? Is it will it be thrown out, or does it go on forever?
They do want us to leave at 5 usually. Sometimes depends. Sometimes the guy comes and wants to lock it in.
Yeah. Did you find coffee?
yeah.
Yes, very good. Good. Apparently there is somewhere out there. Hello. Hi. Welcome. So yeah. So I will go over my notes here. So basically, this is the church organ in Hallgrímskirkja. This was made in 1992, I think. After, well, the years before this, then there was a fundraising among the church people and people in Reykjavík. A lot of people donated, and they made this. Maybe Guðmundur Vignis, I will have to ask you a few times, because you know this history much better than me. It was a lot of donations, mostly, I think, before the organ was built. And I think they had a program or some kind of scheme of people buying individual pipes. So
we have my pen put.
Yeah. So they have their name written somewhere on the instrument, which is quite nice, because the organ has many pipes. You don't see all of them on the front. Most of them are behind. They are 5,752, I think, something like this. A lot of pipes, and they are arranged in. So basically, for one key on the keyboard, you can in some cases that opens the airflow for one particular pipe. You can see a diagram here, kind of how it works. You press the button. This thing on the bottom is not always exactly like this, but this is one way to do it. But the thing on top, like the right side, is the bellows, which is basically just it used to be leather bags, something that you can blow air and compress air. And this can be done often and used to be done for hundreds of years with manpower. So you just need someone to turn a wheel or push and pull or whatever, do some work. And then this black box should represent a certain weight, because normally the person that is pushing the air in, it does not do so evenly. So you would normally have some kind of separation and then put a compression weight on top to make the airflow even, because this controls the volume, obviously, of the pipe, and also to some extent the pitch. And then you see the red, blue knobs. They are called stops, and they open up the possibility to have different sounds. So all of these pipes, they have the same length, as you see, but maybe there's something in the pipe or like different material, different shape, so they make a different sound. So you can have within the same pitch, in this case, three different sounds.
Is there still a reservoir, or is it just a pump that gives you even pressure?
Different organs have different systems for this, you know, and maybe someone here knows more than me about this. I'm a composer, I make the music, and basically you don't really have to know this, but this is so yeah, depending on the size and everything. You can have and this is the same stuff for a foot pump system, where it's basically you press your legs on a pump that fills in a bellow, and the air goes from there. Or you can have electric pumps, which either can be direct, as in like a reed organ. They often have just like no bellows, but only a straight pump. So there's all kinds of systems, you know, that you can use. There was also, like, historically, like in Greece 2,000 years ago, they used a hydraulic system. One of the oldest examples of organs is an instrument called, where is Stefanos? Hydrolux.
He's in Athens.
Something like this. Hydrolex. Well, anyway. Where there would be one guy with a water pump that would push or put pressure on the air chamber. So this is just there's actually much more projects. There was something in 2014. I remember, like, Wayne Siegel. I don't know if you know this electric composer from I think he's from America but lives in Denmark. If you know DM institution in Aarhus, he was working there for many years and did a 1 hour long composition for the organ, computer controlled organ, using weather information. It was a kind of sonification project. Other projects there on this list are student projects or actually something that Guðmundur Vignir started in 2013 when the MIDI organ or the MIDI equipment was added to the organ, that then he and maybe more people organized organized a concert series, basically, or like was it a yearly thing maybe first?
Yeah. We're missing a few there.
Yeah.
14.
Actually, this is just what I remember.
Yeah.
So where he was basically inviting a lot of different artists and composers from different genres to make music for the organ in this way, because it is quite different. This is a photo of 2 visitors from last year's project in Fríkirkjan. I just keep them in here. They are artists that compose only for MIDI controlled organs, and they travel around and make music that cannot really be played by human organists. And it also is very different from electronic music, even though you have to use computer to trigger the events. And using the computer also adds a possibility of synchronization with lights, with video, and other things. They also created this instrument, which is, they call it the black square. It's actually 2 modules of a lot of pipes, and you can keep them far from each other, so like a stereo effect in a way. the nice thing about this one is that this instrument is built for computer control only. There's no keyboard, and whereas most other church organs are built to be mainly played with a human organist, but then the MIDI equipment is a kind of an extra or something that is, in some cases they don't really intend the organ to be played by a computer, but the MIDI function is mostly just to be able to record the performance of an organist, then that you could maybe possibly play it back at some other point. And if you think about it in a practical way, then it is, I know for example a few cases in Hlynsson where when recording a concert performance, that the recording artist did not show up to the gig with microphones, but only a MIDI cable on a computer. So he recorded the movements of the fingers of the organist, but not the sound. So then he showed up just very late in the evening, when all the airplanes are gone and the people are gone. Basically, people are noise pollutants. But so you come later in the nighttime with the microphones, and then you play back the same performance, and then you can get a very clean recording of the not the event, well, kind of the event. It's a two-step process of a recording. But in this case, they built this instrument kind of to the needs of computer musicians, so it is possible to control the amount of air flow into every pipe individually, which totally changes the possibilities what you can do. So in almost every organ, then you cannot really do a lot of change in the amplitude of the sound. You can press the key, then it opens the airflow, and there's nothing in between. Like if you're playing a flute, you can blow softly or loud, but with the organ it's just on or off. But in this case, all kinds of dynamics, having overtones that are softer, building up and different complex sounds, or crescendo, decrescendo, this kind of louder or softer is open for in this. Then my presentation is almost over. This is just from like some screenshots from the event yesterday, so we had one concert yesterday. I think some people here were there also. There was a piece by Thomas Manuri, who played a saxophone with computer sensors controlling the organ in real time. So the theme for yesterday's concert was interactivity and this kind of direct connection. And then Jesper, you can see him, I don't know, maybe try to push the lights. Maybe there's a very dark photo. Yeah, so he's waving a kind of wand. I don't know if you know this instrument called Buchla Lightning. It's one of the very early kind of remote gestural electronic instruments, which, there is Thomas. I was just mention your name and then you appear. Yes, welcome. So the Buchla Lightning is this kind of, it looks like a drumstick, basically. Two drumsticks, you can play it in the air, and then it's actually like a photo sensor that, or photorist, I don't know exactly what kind of, do you know it?
No, I don't know how it works.
Remind me terminals.
Yeah. I think it's it's a very basic wireless connector. So you have to have a visual contact to the home station. It's like a TV remote. It sends out these maybe pulses of light or something. But and then so he was waving the wands, and then the organ would respond to that. And in this case, Steinun Eldflaug was playing a Bluetooth wireless MIDI recorder. So just pushing the buttons. It's a wind sensor for the breath, and then buttons. Yeah, this is kind of how it looks there, and yeah, there will be a concert tomorrow also. This is the program for tomorrow's concert, which starts at 12. So 12 o'clock in the church there will be these pieces, which are it's a bit of a mix, I think. No, most of them, maybe one will, no, sorry, two. Julia will be having also a cellist, and live and some video, and then Ronja, I think I'm not sure if she will perform live. Others are from playback of MIDI file, and then sorry for the Icelandic, for you don't understand. So basically there will be short kind of music pop-up happening events on the whole hour, and then a short kind of discussion in between. So Svartþoka, this is Olaf and more. Sveinn Ingi is not here. He's actually an organist himself, an electronic musician. Victor and Julie 2 o'clock, and Dettifoss will be at 1. Yeah, that's just kind of the photos I have. I have also like a short video that maybe you want to that Thomas took on his phone the day before yesterday, I think, just to show you some different ways of controlling the organ. I tried out some pitch tracking, so allowing the microphone to act as a controller for the organ. One way to do it is to just have a computer program that finds the basic pitch of a tone, but what I was trying there is to find also the overtones, the formats of the spectrum of sound. I don't know how familiar you are with this, but it's possible to kind of ask the computer to find let's say 5 strongest overtones, and then play them on the organ. Then you get this kind of a few notes. But in this case also, if you don't make any sound, then this machine will be confused and it will start to look everywhere, and this will result in a lot of kind of all over the place. So let's just hear what I have to. That's me. So I was actually just.
Not video.
Oh, okay. So I'm kind of controlling the gain. Just if I put the gain up, then also the organ can kind of start to hear itself through the microphone, and to analyze the kind of noise that it's making itself. So then it will sound a bit more like this, maybe. it's a kind of feedback, or like a no input loop. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, sorry for taking too much time to talk, but maybe it would be nice to have some questions or discussions before we before we can point at these composers that are here. What do you think?
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes,
Basically,
please do.
so you're saying that it's just technical, so it's a bit boring for you guys who know it already, but so what do you need to input?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is through a MIDI,
Yes.
but it's still, this one is still meant to be played with by a
Yeah.
human person.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say you don't have an organist,
Mm-hmm.
which you did yesterday.
Yeah.
So
What kind of messages? Or,
yeah.
So
Could
it's
you rig a plant to the MIDI player?
yeah. So
it's simple.
it is. I mean, basically, I made this document kind of to explain how it works. So sending. I don't know how you're used to the MIDI standard. This is a very old technology. It's from 1980s, early 80s. I think 81, 82, 83. It was kind of established. So it's
Outdated.
what?
Outdated.
Yes and no, because it still exists, and a lot of equipment have MIDI. It's a very popular connector.
It's really hard to get rid of it.
Yeah. Like everything that becomes a standard in our society, it's very hard to get rid of. Traditions are a pain if you don't like them, but to get around them is okay. I don't know. That's another discussion maybe. But the messages are just you send a note on message, and then it's the same as someone pressing a finger, and then you have to send another message to take the note off, which is part of the pain. If you send a lot of notes, some of the note off messages might be lost because it is a limited old-fashioned thing, and then what you get is a hanging note. So because an organist will automatically remove his fingers, the computer does not really care or know about it, or does not know if you intend a very long note or if you just something was lost. So in every MIDI equipment since 80 something there is a panic button which basically kills all the notes, or the hanging notes at least, then but also the note that you intended. So yes, it's a plus and minus, kind of format. But the in terms of human versus machine, then this instrument, the keyboard, the keyboards, because they are like 5 keyboards. If you count the pedal, now it's very bright on the screen. Maybe you can dim these the wall lights only. Okay. So it's 5 layers, 5 different sets of voices that you can have, and in this case the guys that were implementing the MIDI, they decided that it should be separate MIDI channels, 5 channels, and then the another channel would control the voices in the same way as you would press a key. The voice stops. It is this white kind of circular knobs. They are also controlled in the same way. So, does it answer you the question?
Yeah.
But there are kind of problems to this approach because you cannot access all the voices from all the channels, and organists, they normally or not they, but the organ builders, they try to fix that problem or that issue by having couplers that so you pull one knob and then you couple together one or more keyboards. So you can play on one with the set of notes there and then access the voices from another keyboard without having 3 hands. But the computer it doesn't, you don't care how many hands you have or how many fingers. So this is kind of obsolete if you're controlling it with MIDI. So there are certain things like that which are uncomfortable for someone who's only using a computer, but very comfortable for the human.
Thanks.
More thoughts?
I was wondering, did you use this feedback thing a lot in your piece?
Yeah, I did. It was, but it became a little bit messy. So it was
It was
soup.
beautiful.
Thank you. But yeah, next time if it will be played again, it will be a bit different.
Yeah, it was really cool. I loved how you got so many organic sounds from like the notes, like going in like a randomized mass down from the high. Things like that.
For trying to find the spectrum of or playing the formants. It didn't make sense until I kind of found a way to access the I just spent not much time on it, but I'll just show you kind of the pure data patch that I used for this piece. Again, I'm not sure how familiar you're with this kind of stuff, but there is for this one. So this was kind of the key to playing high and low notes, because on an organ you only have like 5 octaves maximum. I think this is like 4.5 or so for each keyboard, which is not the full MIDI range, which is 128 keys, which is and how many octaves is that? Maybe 10 octaves, 10, 11 octaves. The piano has 8 octaves, a full kind of grand piano, but the organ normally just 4 or 5 octaves for the keyboard, that is. But then what the organ does is that you can have different kind of settings for if you play with that keyboard, the smaller pipes or the bigger pipes. So and this is normally called like the 8-foot stop, or like the register of 8 foot. It means just like 8 feet long pipe as a base for that group of pipes. So 8 is if you play the middle C, which is MIDI note 60 in the first octave or the middle octave, then you would get then you would hear the note that you would normally hear on the middle C on a piano. Does it make sense for you? Are you familiar with this kind of music?
And so
notes.
the registers of this organ, they go from 2 octaves down from the main note to 3 octaves up.
Yeah, exactly. So the 32-foot pipes, if you press the middle C, you will get a deep, 2 octaves lower. If you press the lowest C on the keyboard, which is kind of 2 lines below the F clef, then you would get sub, octaves below that. And then likewise, if you press the 3 octave higher, which is the 1-foot pipe range, they start with 1 foot and then they go like all the way down to just a few centimeter pipes. If you press the highest one there, you actually get a note that I cannot hear, because I'm 50 years old. 20-year-old people can hear that quite well. I haven't calculated I can't do it now actually. The pitch of that one is, or the frequency is 14,000 hertz, which is quite a lot. I mean, young people can hear higher, of course, like 20 or like 18, 19 is for children, and then as you get older, then less you hear. I'm sorry.
Are you playing it now?
No. This is just to calculate how. If you want to hear it, you can do that. Sure. This is one. Okay,
I can't
sorry.
hear a thing.
I'll connect the driver first, but just, yeah, sorry.
But could you put like a gate on the input so that it wouldn't search for notes when you're not?
Yeah, for the voice
Yeah.
triggering. Yeah, sure.
But
Yeah.
it depends what you want.
Yeah. I mean, there are like in this case, I was using. This was my. No, wait. It was here. So you see my whistling like there on the left. So like 1,000 something hertz, and it comes out like this. You have from the loudest to the quietest, so different kind of peaks that you can track individually. And in this case, when there's noise or just like random sounds around, then it moves very quickly, you know. But of course, like a gate or it is something that you like it's mostly kind of this one here, which triggers the input power that you need to actually generate the pitch, and then also you can put here where was it? I think I put somewhere here. Yeah, I just selected this, you know, like if each partial is more than 0.001 in the amplitude, then it would trigger out, which is okay, fairly low, but
And where is your grandmother in this tree here?
a family tree. I think she is in peak amplitude. Sorry if it's too abstract. I don't know.
Do you think speech synthesis would be possible with the organ?
With the Gamut what's it called, square box thing, it's totally.
Okay.
Yeah. You would definitely if it would be possible to control the strength of the pipes individually, then you can make a spectrum, and then if you can do that, then you can definitely re-synthesize speech and make it understandable. It has been done many times with well, not so much with organs, but with pianos, different instruments. But it's unclear, and you kind of have to know what they're saying. It's like you can still hear kind of voice-like elements. Difference is the consonants, you know, P, T, K, and difference between L, and that this is a nuance that is hard to replicate with instruments. And another thing also, you need very clear kind of sine wave-like individual pitches. But because and normally instrument builders, they avoid that because it's a boring sound. Much nicer to make an instrument with rich overtones. But if you try to, but even with like piano, which has quite a rich spectrum, it's still possible. Was it Ablinger or more people? And my teacher Clarence Barlow, you remember him maybe? Do you remember Clarence? Oh, he made it like in the 70s, some early examples of this kind of stuff.
So, because we have very limited time to spend with that specific instrument, it would be nerdy but very useful to make this analysis, because it's like 7,000 pipes, right? And just play them one by one and have your FFT thing, like analyzing, and having a classifying thing that just fills up the spectrum, because it's not only the octaves. There's like some of the registers have very strong harmonics, like the fifth harmonic or the third harmonic, and so it could be like spread into this spectrum.
Yeah, definitely could be interesting. And we did in Fríkirkjan, Victor recorded. I made some kind of patch that played every note on every voice, or every register on the organ. It took like 10 hours or so.
Yeah, I
Nine
think
or 10 hours.
you ran it overnight.
Yeah.
I think, right? And we got like 2.5
Mm-hmm.
runs through, I think, so we could
Yeah.
replace some of the
Yeah.
noisier parts, maybe like an airplane or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so it could be to make a bank like this and then to use it not as just as a sample playback, but to analyze what's going on. That could be, and also another thing that you are using, and more people have done, like, is to use the crescendo pedal, which is a way to deal with the fact that the organ has no volume changes. So there's a pedal which is designed so that if you move it, then the selection of voices is incrementally stronger. So you would just pull up like more and more loud voices, and then you get this kind of. It sounds like a. I think it's. Do you remember how many steps? It's like 40 or 60 steps or something. I know in Frikirken has 30
The
steps.
crescendo pedal,
Yeah.
I think, is every 2, so 127 divided by 2.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, around 60.
63.
Yeah. So and then you can. It's kind of like a way to fake the idea of stronger or weaker. But you will always hear like this kind of. But well, if you do it quickly, then you don't really notice. But sometimes you hear a new voice coming in. Questions?
So how did you approach the beast?
Yeah, maybe we should go around and.
How did you work with that?
We have a long history. Was it?
16, 17?
Yeah, 2016, 17. At that time, Keith had the key and the Securitas code to the church. So we spent a couple of evenings. How did I approach? So it's all based on stuff that I'm already doing, but not with an organ, just with oscillators and so one thing I use a lot is a kind of harmonizer based on the 16 first harmonics of the sound, and I can turn them on and off, and then I can move the played note, the root, on that scale. It's a bit technical, but it's like all multiple. So if the played note is 100 hertz, the harmonics will be 200, 300, 400. No, 200, 400. Yeah, is it?
Yeah,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So every octave doubles the frequency. And
so in a way, what you hear, what the organ does, is kind of following what you're playing.
yeah, so I have a pitch tracker.
Echo, yeah.
So detecting the played note, and then one of the things I've been working on is to have having a way to control the computer while I'm playing the instrument. And I've always thought it's very difficult to switch from one another, like to be, when I'm playing an instrument, I have this connection with the instrument and the audience, like there's a certain presence. And then the minute you go to your mouse or your trackpad, you just vanish. You like lose connection with the public, or and so I've been trying to find ways to not need to touch the computer or even avoid looking at the screen. And the problem with the saxophone is that you have all your both hands and every finger that are already in use. So I managed to add 5, like a few buttons in strategic places where I can push the buttons as I'm playing. So they're like, tip of this finger, tip of the other, and then I have a few switches that I can, that are also on the instrument. But this is a very limited set of controls, so I also use a motion sensor, which gives you like three different signals, or rotation, azimuth, and pitch. So it's pitch, azimuth, and rotation. And one thing I use a lot is to have, so you press up one button, and these movements are going to control a certain set of parameters, and then you push another, and it controls another set. And so it gives a lot of control, but that is also organic. So it's the movement of the body. And with the organ, so yeah, it's 5 keyboards and how many stops? 7 total? 5 markar, 64 or, well, there's a lot of parameters, and so I've been trying using these movements to like trigger different stops and build sound with that. I would probably need maybe 2 weeks, 10 hours a day to like tune it into that specific organ, but it's like work in progress.
Maybe, if we can get different people to say a little bit about themselves or the piece.
Yeah, sure.
If you're interested.
Yeah, like he said, I organized the first MIDI concert in 2013. I was studying in Holland when I had this revelation that, because I started singing in the choir in the church. So my father-in-law was the organist there for 40 years. And so I really knew the place well and the instrument. And during my studies in Holland, the remote keyboard, because there is a keyboard also up in the instrument itself, and then there was an additional keyboard put downstairs on ground level, and that just had a really big cable connecting it to the main instrument. So I started thinking there must be some like data passing through those cables. You should be able to hack into that. And I talked to Hlynsson, a composer who was also studying in Holland at the same time, and he just took the idea further, and we applied for a small grant and contacted Hlynsson organ builders, and they of course had implemented MIDI in their other organ builds many times. And it actually had this SD card capability of recording your performances onto MIDI, but there was no physical MIDI input or output. So they scheduled it when it was scheduled to like upgrade the electronics of the instruments in 2010 or 11 or something. And then they added this box. So that opened up the possibility, and then took up quite a bit of lobbying to convince my father-in-law and the authorities in the church that this was okay, we wouldn't ruin anything, and because you can actually, like in this MIDI channel 14, which pushes out the stops, if you send really fast information, there's a lot of moving parts that can just warm up or break. break down. So what I did was contact Áki and his fellow composers and artists in Slaughter to like produce a little think tank. And one of the first kind of criteria we made was to have this like threshold, these filters of information, and that got us through the needle eye in the church. So we could convince them that we wouldn't wreck it. And the first piece on the first concert was Hlynsson, and he played all the stops out, very short chord with all the notes pressed down, just like a tack. And my father was sat on the front row seat, and his heart skipped a beat. He told me afterwards that he was ready to catch the organ. He was so afraid that he was just coupled after that. But that got it like out of the way. You couldn't get any further than that, and then the experimentation just opened up.
Yeah, I remember this was it this concert somebody walked out also?
Yeah, this is not music or something like that.
Yeah, because I think people were expecting classical music or something, and then they found this kind of noise and clusters.
A couple of people.
Yeah, maybe, but I just remember one of them wanted his money back. And I think it's good. He got paid, no problem, but
then we knew we were on the right track, I guess.
Yeah, it's all good. But, yes. No, I think in many ways it's good to get the strange music, in somehow.
And the playfulness of the experimentation has always been a theme somehow.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe other people want to say something. Einar or
me?
Yes.
I found it interesting in the text advertising this on the website. I don't know who wrote it, but it was because of the organ is self-playing. Then you can do stuff without málamiðlanir.
Yeah, so without compromise. Yes. Yeah.
But of course there is a compromise with the machine.
Yes, but between the composer and the organ, there's less compromise.
Yeah, there's no human mediator.
Yeah, but of course, it's a good comment. There is of course every instrument is also a compromise. It has limitations. So you can't do things that the instrument cannot do. And we have I put in one of these documents. I don't know if you. I put in something here. Now why is this? This is another frequency here. Interesting. But the maximum speed of notes is or the minimum duration, because if you make a note shorter than this, 15 or 20 milliseconds, then the air will not be fast enough to flow through the pipe and start to make a sound. So there are of course limitations. So, and I think no instrument is so that you can think of or imagine some kind of music. I don't know if you have this, if you are dreaming, you're half awake, or have you had dreams of musical dreams? Probably dream of some music that doesn't exist, and then it's impossible to, in some cases, to have an instrument that creates. If you dream of something that doesn't exist,
But this duration, that's not true for all the.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, some operate on more pressure than others.
Yes. Yeah. But I would say most of them respond to 20 or 25. I think almost all that I tried are okay with 22, 23 milliseconds of duration. But I think the maximum speed, of course, could be more. It depends a little bit how. Yes, for repetition of a single note. But it kind of makes sense if it starts to respond after 20 milliseconds, and then you have another 20 of rest, so 40, 50 milliseconds is I think I've tried to repeat a note at like 40 or 50 milliseconds, or no, like, so it's on for 20 and off for 20, and then it just neutralizes the solenoid, because there are these electromagnets that open up and close for the notes, and if you send in a very fast on-off, it will stay somewhere in the middle and not move.
Is this something that you got from Hlynsson, or is this just
No, this is just
worked out?
experiments, you know. Yeah. So Einar has a piece on tomorrow on the concert, and Guðmundur Vignir, and then Julie and Victor and Olaf, they will have pieces that are not part of the 12 o'clock concert, but separate as you know, kind of during church opening hours, which means they have a bit more time. Olaf, do you want to say something about your piece?
I'm part of a band called Svartara, and Ía, who's our guitarist, she has worked with you, I think, before, playing the organ, but I had never done it, and I'm a producer, so she said you just make a MIDI file, so I think people can make a MIDI file and you can take anything of it, and then go back to the meeting and have to kind of like translate a little bit, which was just like a fun challenge. Yeah, but it's kind of, we're kind of working with the same theme that we're usually working with, like very kind of heavy dramatics mixed with elements of noise, and we're usually kind of more leaning towards metal, but in this case I think we went a little bit more in the classical direction and drawing inspiration from classical music, so the organ part is quite kind of inspired by classical music, while the guitar and we have a waterphone and a theremin, and especially the waterphone and the guitar are adding like noise elements in, which kind of adds to the kind of thematic and makes it more like horror adjacent rather than like it's not as pretty.
Yeah, it is kind of horror sci-fi feeling, and maybe for you that don't know, is she playing the guitar with a big knife?
Yeah.
Like distortion and huge knife, and then they play the theremin.
Yeah.
It also has this kind of haunting sound.
And that's still quite like pretty, but it's more it's haunting, like it's a little bit ghostly.
Yeah,
so it's like all these elements. It's just really fun for us to get to work with an organ, because we're very dramatic in our songwriting, and this is as dramatic as it can go. We're really maximizing our potential here.
Yeah. And it's very performative. I kind of felt this also for my experiments at the church with this huge space. It is good for kind of art performance in a way, to have like a bit of theater. You know, I know the church. It is also a temple and a holy place, but there's something that is still very close from a big theater hall to a church cathedral style. You know, and modern art should, you know, I think normally these institutions are open for modern things. You know, even though they're also, like I say, it is a mix. They are traditional institutions, but I think at least here they are quite open for things. And I still haven't discovered the line where something is offensive, or like in a religious way, but probably
there was something in France where Anna von Hausburg was playing, and they stopped it, I think, because it was deemed to be like satanic or
Okay, yeah.
So there were protesters there.
Yeah.
So it can happen.
I think it can happen, but like I say, I've never discovered here that someone is upset.
Not yet.
Not yet. It has happened with visual art in Hallgrímskirkja. I remember, who was it? Hannes Lárusson did a series of.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. See you.
Entertain my
Yes.
children.
Yes. Yeah, all right. He did some kind of Zoom, like he took I think old religious paintings from the maybe 16th, 17th century, and then only cut out the body parts that were like, okay, it was kind of genitals and breast area, but and someone actually in the church didn't like it, they took it down. But so there's maybe that's something like.
How about your? Because your piece had some visuals from some medieval manuscripts. Is there any kind of relevance to them, or is it how did they?
No, I mean I didn't get any comment from it. It was actually using the tarot cards.
Tarot cards. Okay.
Which they were banned by some medieval church. Like old churches don't like them, but that was not really the. I don't think they would. It has a photo of the devil and skeletons and stuff, but it's not really. I don't think this church would be offended.
I think churches also notoriously have a lot of photos of the devil.
Yeah.
Þetta er áhugavert, já, að vita hver eru tónskrattarnir í dag?
Yeah. I mean, yes. But I think it probably. I mean, and for some people, a church is something that we, the modern artists, must fight these institutions or upset them or something. I don't really have this feeling myself, but I understand if someone wants to find the limit of where something is. And this is natural. It's good for art to kind of check the boundaries once in a while.
I mean, if you like this kind of scale and theatrics, of the church, I can recommend a festival in France. It's in Caen, in Normandy. Just went there in December, and because they have so many churches, and it's like Normandy. This heritage is huge. So the whole festival is basically music in churches, more or less, but electronic, and some amazing installations, like huge stuff. So I think maybe even that could be something to pitch. I don't know if they have an organ that is MIDI mediated, but
actually.
And what did the guys do?
Yeah. So Julie and I are continuing some work that we were doing last year in Vikerkan, the organ there, and it kind of has two aspects to it. The one part is that we're using this like real-time MIDI AI that I made as part of my research here, and kind of thinking of it as like haunting the organ. So really like kind of fitting it onto the interface of the organ console. So like we'll have one kind of voice for each manual and the pedals, and then Julie will be playing like this fugue that she wrote, and the AI will try to help her play it basically, since she has two hands and there's like four parts to the fugue. But it will, deviate, and then she'll have to improvise, and then they'll be in dialogue because it's like real-time interactive, and then things will kind of get out of control. And we're also kind of playing with this idea of the haunting, both from like a folkloric kind of angle, where like there's all these like stories of like demonic possession and like ghosts and things like that. And then also from kind of this theoretical angle of like hauntology, like thinking about AI in terms of like memory and nostalgia and absence and eeriness, all this stuff. So we're doing all that, and then also we kind of like Julie plays the carillon, the other gigantic instrument that's part of the church, the bells in the tower. So
Are you also gonna play that?
Well, it'll be a simulation of a carillon using the organ.
So so yeah, we've been really interested in like simulating the organ on the carillon or the carillon on the organ, and so we have also Áki's pulling up the Dark Music Days schedule here.
I was looking for, did they advertise it?
Yeah, it should be. It should actually be near the beginning. It's like right after Jesper and Maria on the program, I think. Yeah,
here,
so like we made this sound walk, which is all based on the sound of the bells and like analyzing the sound and resynthesizing it using sine waves. And then we did that kind of on the organ using like some software that I built to like kind of dynamically assemble the sound of each bell when you press a key as if you had hit the bell by playing the different organ pipes. And so like I kind of like made that, and we worked on making it sound sort of like bells, which is a whole thing because of course like the most salient aspect of the sound of a bell is that it like exponentially decays, like it goes bong, it decays to silence, where and like each overtone decays at like a different rate kind of, and that's what makes the sound of the bell. Whereas on the organ, of course, you can't change the volume very much at all. Like in general, it just plays a constant volume note until you turn it off suddenly. So like the question was, how do we simulate this decay on the organ, and what kind of new thing comes out of that? So we have a strategy like turning the notes on and off with a different, like a decreasing duty cycle, and like slowing down and using shorter pulses, and then combining this with like some very short notes to make the like initial hit, the attack of the bell, and kind of making all this happen even when you play multiple bells, and then the pipes they use would overlap and stuff like this. So like we worked on all this, and then just like handed over to Julie to like play like idiomatic like carillon music on the organ and kind of see what happens. That's like kind of at the end of our piece. I have some cards here which are links to this sound walk if anybody wants to take one. Just pass them around maybe. This sound walk we made for Dark Music Days, it's like just a MP3 file or a SoundCloud link that you can listen to on your headphones, and you could do it any time really, but it's recommended to go walk around in the area of Hlynsson while you listen to it, and it kind of talks about and uses this idea of pulling apart the bell sounds, and just thinking about bells as objects or like human objects. I don't know, anything you want to add?
I'm not sure if everyone knows like caril, is it written like this?
Yeah.
Who knows what it is, how it looks like? Because maybe this guy here, you punch it with your fists?
Yes, we do.
Kind of like this?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened there? Just to quickly show that. So Julie is a carillonist playing this. So this is the traditional kind of keyboard for controlling musical bells in the church tower. But in Hallgrímskirkja there is not an interface like this, not a keyboard, but it's controlled electronically. So there is actually a MIDI connector, so it's possible, it would be possible to synchronize the organ and the bells.
We did that once, actually.
Yeah.
In an art festival in the church.
Okay,
we had a wireless MIDI to the MIDI keyboard, which controls the bells.
And then there are microphones.
And there are microphones upstairs.
Yes.
And we patched that into the sound system of the church.
Yeah.
And the organist improvised, and we coupled the bells with the pedal. So
nice. Yeah. So it has the, but as we also know, it is difficult to get somehow permission to use the bells in a casual setting, because they are sounding over a large. Actually, this is the densest residential area in Iceland. around the church. So every time that they change somehow the scheme or change the melody or something, they get complaints. There are like hundreds of phone calls and emails and stuff. So I think that's the main reason why the administration in the church, they are very afraid to do anything different with the bells. But but definitely, I mean, I think we want to keep working on it, and it needs to be some kind of festival or some kind of certain event that fits with the day, that everyone in the neighborhood knows that now there's something different. And it is interesting, like bells in this case, maybe you thought more about this, but it has a very kind of direct connection with the routine of the day. Bells and clocks are this is unanimous words somehow. They keep the time. Kind of maybe before people had the watches, you have the church tower just to synchronize everything.
That was the public service for the city, for its people, was to maybe for production, perhaps, when your workday begins and when your workday ends. But then the melody came because you would need a warning to count, because otherwise you don't. Did it start already? Is it 6 or 7? But once you hear the melody, then it warns you. Okay, now you start counting. And I don't know if you all remember when at Hallgrímskirkja they changed the melodies, but I do know my only contact in the carillon world about Hallgrímskirkja is this Danish carillionaire who came over to try to have a keyboard installed in conjunction with an American who was living here, but the only thing they could do was to change Big Ben, which is da na 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 na, to an Icelandic melody. And do you remember when that happened? Was that in like 20 years ago or something?
It was about 10 years. It's not really, I would guess. Do you remember?
Before that it was Big Ben.
It was Big Ben.
We had this workshop in Holland once. We went to this small town called Eindhoven. It's like manufacturing bells. We made a workshop and like a collaborative performance.
With bells.
Eindhoven.
Yeah, it's close to Eindhoven somewhere.
It's Austin, maybe.
Could be. I don't know. Many years ago. I don't remember the name of the town, but it was a lot of fun.
But that's free. Like the melody can be anything.
It could be anything. You can change it. I mean, wouldn't it be great if you could ask the public for a melody, and it could change every 15 minutes. In fact, it's possible because it's MIDI.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that would be very cool.
It could be generative. It can be.
It could be a jukebox. It could be.
Or reactive to like weather or temperature or whatever. For example.
You could give out information for sure.
But people are like I say, I would say the bells are a sensitive topic to the admin in church and to the maybe public, because it is part of their own of the common sound sphere. So people take it personally. If there's a noise, like if the neighbor is drilling a hole in the wall, it's annoying, Or if there's a random sound, if the neighbor has a broken fire alarm that is just beep, that's a kind of a very annoying thing. If it's randomized, let's say a random interval between annoying sounds, it makes people, because sound is a warning system, for the animals in the jungle. The sound is the main thing that triggers danger. It raises the adrenaline. It has a lot of this kind of save your life kind of triggers, and if music or other sonic activities go into that nerve of us as fearful animals, then it can have very severe influence on us.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Áki.
Can have also a very positive influence.
Yes.
Depends on the person, but I'm just saying that sounds are they have a big effect.
It is reasonable. It's probably the only thing that makes it bearable to live like right next to the church is that you kind of stop hearing it because it's always the same.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a bit more.
Yeah, but then when every time they change, then people hear it again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like living next to a noisy, generator. Like in Grímsey, for example. Have you been there? It's an island in north of Iceland, and they put because they don't have electricity. They're not connected to the mainland grid, so they have a big diesel generator, and for some reason they put the generator in the center of the town. But there's plenty of space outside, but just to save a few meters of cable. So everywhere in the buildings there is also 24 hours a day, every night, no, every day. And nobody here can hear it. People there,
But I'm sure it sounds like that, even though if you don't hear it anymore, your brain is still filtering it out, so it causes stress, even though you don't hear it.
Yeah, it could be, yes. Yeah,
can't hear anything else. Well,
they are a bit strange.
It's close to the harbor, so it's a little bit like a boat or something. So when you start to get used to it, so
actually, yeah.
But it's funny. In the most silent place on earth.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
in Iceland, it's like.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
So how is the because I won't be able to go to everything, but will there be like a live recording? So.
Yeah. Nikulás over there will record the concert, and probably they will put it on the Intelligent Instruments media somewhere.
Yeah.
YouTube or I don't know.
Nice.
Yes. More questions, ideas, or something, or are we happy? But in general, I would just say this is an exciting project. It's a huge instrument. It has very soft sound, but also very strong sounds, and just to get the possibility to play. I mean, it is a very short rehearsal time that we have, but just to get a chance to decide music for such a big space, it's very effective.
How many pipe organs in Iceland are MIDI connected?
Yeah, we located a few. So Hallgrímskirkja, there's Fríkirkjan, Grafarvogur, Keflavík.
Not Akureyri.
I don't know. You should ask someone. Check out if someone knows. But I would say it's likely if there were some major renovations on the player keyboards in the last 10 years, then it's likely that if someone installed an electronic connection, then they would have installed MIDI as well. Like in Keflavík, it's never been used as like a computer-controlled organ, but there is, I found the plug.
I started the organ in Akureyri many years ago. I think it was all electronic, but
yeah. And essentially one idea would be to go on a small tour with a program like this.
Is there any system-exclusive MIDI controls?
On the organ to control other things. The problem is that there is no standard of what keyboard. If the top keyboard should be channel 1, channel 2, or then there are other things that can be controlled. There's the svelverk, which is kind of opening up kind of windows on the organ. Or controlling something like bell. Sometimes there's extra bell or percussive sounds, but most of the time this is mapped onto either note-on messages or a control change. For the svelverk is like this. So, and there are actually many more commands that we can control. For example, the like a combination memory. So there is on the keyboards you can, for the organist to put in to load a preset basically. So he would select a few different voices, then he would press the save button. I would want to save this as A1, and then he can recall that settings later in the same piece, or even program a whole concert so that he can scroll through a set of combinations. And it's possible to recall those with MIDI, but it's kind of pointless because if you have a computer, you can just as well program that yourself and recall it from your own computer.
I was thinking about air pressure or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's not, no. But in Hallgrímskirkja there's basically, I think there are a few pumps, like for different sets of voices, but in some organs there's just like one main pump, and this is normally just independently powered. So.
But there was a piece by Ulfur, right?
Yeah.
They removed the weight.
But then you have to be there and you have to manually either disconnect. I think.
To get the glissandi.
Yeah. So basically, if you remove the wind source, then the bellows will fall. Then the wind will run out, and then there's this kind of sound in the end, which when the pipe is fading out. And it's a very interesting sound, but it's not possible to control that with the MIDI. And in some churches, I still have to investigate in Keflavík. Some only have the MIDI for the keyboard, but not for the stops. It's also possible. And then we have used in another, not in a church, but we have borrowed a system from Björgvin, which is the solenoids that he uses. Is an organ builder who is often going between churches and tuning them, and he has a small kit where he basically put the mechanics, like these kind of solenoids would push the rods down on top of an existing keyboard. So you can have a remote control because one person that needs to tune the pipes, he wants to be able to play also. And so there's either to have another person who is pushing the button while the other one is playing, or do it with the same person on the electronics.
So maybe that was the first purpose of MIDI for the tuners. Maybe they decided
could be,
be able to sustain the note indefinitely.
Yeah. Or remote small keyboard that they can play while they're inside the organ tuning. But it's interesting, all these self-playing. I don't know how much you know or interested in, but there is a big history of mechanical instruments and also just computer-controlled or MIDI-controlled. It's one thing I think of is the Logos Foundation. Do you know this? In Ghent, they made. This is their. What? It doesn't show much. If we say Logos Foundation, they made a band called Man Machine Orchestra. It's and this guy Gottfried William Reis, he has built a lot of instruments. I don't know if there is. Are you interested in this? Okay, let's see some advertisement first.
Blikkaðu ekki, fyndu merkið. Vinsæl netvettvangur bíður eftir þér, tilbúin fyrir sterkan stað. Gríptu velkomupakka, sérstaklega fyrir nýliða. Manstu merkið? Þá bara að leita að okkur á netinu.
Actually, I'm always working on many automats at the same time. Yeah. So yeah. And here we enter the Logos tetrahedron where we have the concerts.
You know, tetrahedron, they built a triangular concert house, you know, so they don't have any direct echoes from the walls. Ghent, in Belgium.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, they are very friendly, you know, and so many instruments. And they were trying to build, you know, trumpets and flutes and percussion and all this kind of like just a big.
So the sousaphone is quite special in the collection of the orchestra in that it is one of the rare real wind instruments. And here I made an artificial mouth. So the red thing you see here in the middle is the mouth, the inside of the mouth. So there is a compressor air underneath, the lungs gives wind to this thing. So here we have the original mouthpiece of the sousaphone, and inside there is silicone lips against the mouthpiece. And they push their control electrical devices that can do. This one has 48 bells. And I'm making a second.
Yeah, etc. You can watch it later, but electronic acoustic instruments have been around for a long time.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. And also like automized like mechanical instruments that are non-electrical, like player pianos and player organs are of course quite old.
There's an interesting. It's like a French company called Modart, and they do like physical model pianos. So they're not sampled, but they're physically modeled. And they also have an organ now, so you can sort of. It's kind of fun to play around with because you can sort of build your own organ.
Yeah.
And since it's not sampled, it's sort of like just mathematics basically.
Exactly.
It's kind of fun to try out.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Organ Tech by Modart.
There's also a British guy east of London that's got a YouTube channel named Luke, something like No Hands. I'm looking for it. And he has a museum of
Look Mom, no
computer.
No computer. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a few instruments. He's rewired with
this
pretty interesting.
museum.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Drone machines that are pretty interesting.
He made a
Furby organ, yeah. True.
Modify the sound of it.
I really like it.
Yeah.
His electromechanical generator, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, but maybe we just stop now and see some of you at least tomorrow in the concert.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you. And, stay tuned. There will be more.
Good luck.
More meeting. Thank you.
Yeah.